Oh man, I'm just so glad we have a group of like-minded people that are banding together to get out of this prison.
When you call a piece of white trash who couldn't pass the cops exam and now makes less than a mailman, a CO.
Well, you almost had it. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for today, this one's going to be doing another review, this one we're going to be talking about a new series, well kind of an old series, but a new series for me, a new series that I just checked out recently, a show that I've been hearing a lot of things about, but I never ever got around to watching it. We are here to discuss Prison Break Season 1. So, my god man, honestly, this show... This is one that I've had on my bucket list for many, many, many years. I heard about it a long time ago, back when I was like a young kid, and I never even ever got around to it because I was just like, okay, like, you know, it's a prison show, you can kind of figure it out, you know what I mean? It's going to be like a very basic prison show. Well, that is not what I thought I was getting into here. Once I saw this episode, once I saw the first episode, and then I saw the whole first season, and well, now I've seen all 5 seasons, yes, even the 5th season, which is regarded as a really bad season. We'll talk about that when that comes, but Prison Break is honestly a fantastic show. Through and through, the original 4 seasons, incredible series. And we're going to go through each season over the course of the next couple weeks here. We're going to kind of discuss them as we go. But Prison Break is one that I really wanted to discuss because there's so many layers to a show like this. This is a 22 episode first season, which is kind of the regular for this show. And it follows such an interesting cast of characters. I've honestly never seen a more captivating prison series in all my life. And prison series, I say that very loosely because if you've seen the whole first season, you kind of know where we end up, you know what I'm saying? So, let's talk about this show in its totality, this first season. There's 22 episodes, there's a lot of things to discuss, so I want to kind of break it all down. Now, the premise of this series is very simple. You've got Lincoln, who is a man that apparently, at one point or another, killed the vice president's brother, okay? And he was seen doing it, you know, in footage, and he's guilty of it, basically. So, he is in jail, and he's going to be getting the death penalty. He's going to be getting the electric chair and stuff like that, which they did back in the early 2000s. Now, this takes place in 2006, so you can kind of tell, you know, around the time this is, and you can kind of tell that the rules are a little bit more strict than they are nowadays, right? Nowadays, it's just lethal injection. Back then, it was, you know, kind of a more severe, you know, measure. But anyway, Lincoln's going to be getting that. He's framed for something that he has not even done. He did not kill the vice president's brother, but they have somehow made it look like he does and that he did. So, you know, Lincoln is now going to die for something that he didn't do, a crime that he did not commit, right? Lincoln Burrows. So that's kind of our main objective of this season. But his brother, who's the lead of this show, is named Michael Scofield. And Michael Scofield is probably the most genius character I've seen on a TV show of all time, honestly. This guy gives Walter White a run for his money, okay? I'll put it to you that way. Michael Scofield is the most loyal and smart brother I've ever seen. Lincoln's brother, Michael Scofield, basically has an entire plan lined up to where he is going to commit a crime, rob a bank, which didn't go well, and he gets thrown in jail, right? And he wants to get thrown in jail. Now, he is aware of the entirety of the layout of Fox River, the prison that Lincoln is in. So now you've got Michael that's in Fox River as well. They are both in prison. And you've got Michael that's in here basically to get him out. He's basically there to break his brother out. And he's laid out everything. I mean, there's a reason why there's 22 episodes in this first season. Every single episode, I think I got myself to a point where I was just like, wait, what? You know, like this man, Michael, is so damn smart. I mean, I kind of figured as much when you finish the first episode. And he's like, hey, you know, Mike, you know, what's going on? You know, we're going to need a blueprint or something to get out of this prison. And then, you know, you got Michael that turns around. He's got this big tattoo on him, and he's like, I got him on me. And you look at Michael's tattoo, and it's the layout of the prison on his chest. I was like, holy shit, man, this is crazy. Like, genuinely, I love shows that do that. They just hook you in right away, you know what I mean? And from that moment on, I was into it already. I mean, I was really digging it. They had some really great characters introduced in this prison. You have, Sugar slash Sucre, in other words, is what they call him. Sucre is kind of just a wholesome dude that wants to get back to his girl. His girl kind of treats him like shit. And later on in the season, you kind of reveal that this woman of his, Marie Cruz, as they say. If you're watching a Sucre scene, you gotta know he's gonna be talking about Marie Cruz, you know what I mean? And, well, anyway, she kind of treats him like shit, but, you know, he loves her, so he wants to kind of be with her, and then he, you know, finds out that she's pregnant with his child. So that's an extra motivator to get Sucre to escape with Michael and Lincoln, right? So Sucre's in. So that's his character. Now, we've also got a character named Westmoreland, kind of an older guy, kind of accused of doing some things way back in the day, and he doesn't really, you know, reveal himself, you know, to Michael, to who he is, but Michael can kind of figure him out pretty easily. He's got a cat, which is kind of wholesome, you know what I mean? He's got a cat with him. That's kind of all he does. He's, you know, good behavior, this fella, and kind of just, you know, keeping his nose clean in here, you know what I'm saying? And, well, we've got a man named C-Note in here. This guy kind of is a sad one because he kind of lies to his family about being away on an army trip, which he did used to be in the army. We do find that out this season, but he went to jail, unfortunately, for, you know, stuff he did because he didn't want to do too many brutal things, so they locked him up. So C-Note is a completely innocent man as well, too. I love C-Note. C-Note was a great character in this. Well, we had a few other characters. We have Sarah Tancredi, who is the, you know, doctor at this prison. You know what I'm saying? She's like the doctor here. She's kind of, you know, kind of got a thing for Michael. You can kind of tell, you know what I mean? And Michael kind of uses that at his advantage to, over the course of the season, kind of get with Sarah and then kind of get her to help, you know, Michael and his crew escape later in the season, which we'll talk about that later, but really cool. And then, obviously, in this season, we've also got a few other characters. We've got Teabag, who, to be honest, is my guilty pleasure character of this show. Teabag is an entertainer at its finest. I mean, this guy, honestly, I don't know what the hell is going on with him, but he is like a stand-up for me this whole show. The way he just kind of walks up, you know what I mean? Kind of involves himself when they don't really want him to get involved because, well, he's clearly a pedophile. You know, he kind of walks up to them and he's just like, hey there, my pretty. You know what I'm saying? He kind of runs the show in here, you know what I'm saying? He sticks his pockets out, you know, to the people that he wants to kind of, you know, be his bitch in prison, you know what I mean? And, well, you got one guy in here, Tweener, that joins this prison about midway through this season, and he is kind of his bitch now, you know what I mean? So, Teabag is honestly a absolute standout to me. Teabag is great. I love the way he kind of like, just kind of walks up, you know what I'm saying, with all this very macho, you know, kind of, you know, attitude to him. And he's kind of just like, he's like you'll have Michael, he's like, yeah, we gotta get out of this prison, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And he's like, it's kind of a problem then, my pretty. You know? I was like, what the fuck, you know? He's like smacking his lips all the time, you know what I mean? Kind of gives him that look like, like, the guy is insane. To be honest, that's my favorite performance on this show, is the actor that plays Teabag. He nails it. I mean, he nails that shit. It's genuinely captivating as hell. I mean, honestly, the character is just incredible. But some standout episodes for me this season, ones that really stood out. The Riot episode, the two-parter, episodes 6 and 7, those episodes were insane. When, like, the, you know, air conditioning turns off, the breakout just starts happening, everybody starts freaking out. You've got Michael Cudlett's the cameos as a prison guard in that episode. He dies, unfortunately, by Teabag because Teabag's fucking mental, but it was a really great episode. It was a good two-parter, you know what I mean? Episode 14 was another one. The one where Lincoln's about to get the electric chair, and at the very, very last minute they save his life. That shit, man, that shit really hit. Well, we've also got kind of an outside plot this season as well, too, where you've got this woman named Veronica who was kind of with Lincoln. She's a lawyer, so she's trying to kind of get him out of there. Veronica was a really interesting character in this show, too. She was kind of a standout for the outside plot that wasn't in prison, because you do get outside stuff as well. You get this guy, Nick, that kind of helps her out, which I thought he was kind of a cool character for, you know, the time he had. He doesn't make it through this season, of course, but, you know, he was a very interesting character. And, well, Veronica, I think, overall was really good as well, too. I think they were interesting. We've also got on the outside Lincoln's son, who is living with his mother and stepfather, who treats him like absolute shit. And then basically, well, the overall threat of this season, the ones that are framing Lincoln for something that he didn't do, the ones that are kind of making the drama this season, is a group called The Company. And you got this guy named Kellerman that's kind of our main first villain of this show. And he works for the company, and he's trying to cover up all this stuff to make sure that Lincoln, pays for something that he didn't do. You know what I mean? So they tried to frame Lincoln hardcore. You know what I mean? And that's what the company is. They're evil people, evil politicians that are trying to kind of, advance their, themselves, you know what I mean, against anybody else. And Lincoln has to unfortunately pay for it, but he doesn't, luckily. They get him out of there, which is very good. But this show treated itself very realistically, you know what I mean? Like, it really, really did. And, well, the only other few characters I kind of want to discuss here is we have Bellick, who's a really scummy prison guard. Bellick, I gotta say, was a stand-up for me this season, because he was kind of on to Michael and what he was doing, you know what I mean? I like the actor a lot, though. Bellick was really good. I gotta admit, the guy was getting under my skin, man. He was really pissing me off in a good way, too. Like, honestly, the way he just walked around with that smug, just smile on his face, man, I wanted to punch the fucking guy, and it's a TV show. So the guy did a great job. The actor that played Bellick, I gotta tell you, man, he really did a great job. I mean, this guy dips his french fries in a milkshake. I mean, who the hell does those type of crimes? You know what I'm saying? This man, honestly, I gotta say, was like a massive standout for me this season, Bellick. He just made all the drama. He just made it all that more interesting, you know what I'm saying? And he was really, really good. I liked him a lot. Now, we've also got the warden, the Pope, as they call him, which, man, I gotta tell you, really good character, really good. Because usually in prison shows, when you watch them, the warden's kind of like a prick. You know what I'm saying? That they're usually a rude asshole. In this, it was actually kind of different. This guy is kind of wholesome. I mean, he's got like this like popsicle stick house that he's kind of trying to make, and Michael helps him out with it and stuff. He's kind of like just this wholesome old man that kind of just wants to be living a normal life. You know what I mean? I liked him a lot. He was really good. He was a standout for me as well this season. He was great. Well, like I said, in terms of this season, I mean, the big thing that I think really stood out to me is just the sadness of Lincoln's character, the tragedy of what he didn't do. And yes, he has a son, which his son is hunted by the company throughout a lot of this season. It's actually pretty brutal. Lincoln's wife or whatever gets killed by Kellerman, trying to cover up everything, you know what I mean? And then, LJ kind of ends up on the outside, and luckily Veronica, helps him out. So LJ's okay, but LJ was tragic, man. I felt bad for this kid throughout the whole season. He really went through it, and having to see his mother die, and, even his stepfather, who he didn't really like that much, but still, it's a traumatic experience one way or another. I thought that was really just insane, honestly. It was mental, absolutely. Now, one of the big standouts, obviously, of this season is the ending, right? Because you have, a crew that is kind of trying to get out of there. You got John Abruzzi, who's also a really great character. I really liked him. He was kind of another standout for me this season, kind of like a mafia type, But that crew basically tries to escape, and, well, it gets pretty interesting as they try to get out of this prison. And now we get to the actual prison break itself, which was insane. I mean, you've got Sarah that, of course, helps Michael out because he has helped her out, over the course of this season. And Sarah, great. She's goated for that. Honestly, Sarah, I didn't really know what to think about her at first. She really came through. She really did. But unfortunately, them escaping, going from her, office to going, across over the fence, it's this massive gap, and unfortunately, they didn't have enough time. Now, everybody got out except for Westmoreland. He, unfortunately, just was not going to make it. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Westmoreland does, die this season, which I thought was kind of, sad, and the rest of them do get out. But unfortunately, it gets even worse because then in the, finale, you've got them literally being hunted out there in the woods, and you got some insane stuff going down. I mean, Teabag literally loses his freaking hand, which was insane. You know what I mean? You get a lot of, hunted scenes. The cops are right on them throughout most of that episode. Trying to find them, stuff like that. Pope is trying to find them. It's a really, really big, episode. And, well, the plane, unfortunately, takes off without them. The plane that they scheduled to have pick them up did not, get them. So now they're on the run. And they literally just end the season with them running from the cops in the woods. I was like, damn, like, these writers are ballsy, man. That's a nasty-ass cliffhanger, too. So, Season 2, we continue with them on the outside, obviously. We're going to see where that kind of goes and stuff. We'll talk about that one probably next week. But this was honestly such a good first season. Like, I honestly did not have any complaints with anything of the way the story went. It was all well done, well told, gripping, emotional. The characters are all great, all layered. It's what you get for making a 22 episode first season, but not filler either, you know what I mean? I've seen long seasons like this where they draw this shit out. This was a realistic scenario of how a real prison would work, with very realistic characters in it. Tragedy, brutal characters, very intriguing storytelling. Honestly, this show is top notch with its first season. So, I'm honestly going to say, for a start to a series, it's a strong way to start. You got a 10 out of 10 first season on your hands here, in my opinion. Everything about this worked. Every little detail about this worked. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I wouldn't change the episode count. I wouldn't change the characters. I wouldn't change any of it. It was great. Honestly, this show really made a great first impression. And you know what's funny? Season 2, the train just keeps moving. 2 just gets even bigger, you know what I mean, now that they're out. So, we're going to review the other 4 seasons as we kind of progress over the next couple weeks. Stay tuned for those reviews, of course. But anyway, let me know what you think of Prison Break down below. Let me know what you kind of think of this first season. What do you think of the show overall? How do you feel about the show? Did you see the whole show? Did you not? Let me know. So, if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe and tune up to any other videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Prison Break. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.